name's Glyn. I work for UNISON Scotland. I'm the Head of Bargaining and Equal Pay in Scotland. What we're seeing in Scotland, and it's the start of a process rather than the end of one. I think it's something that's going to go on for some years yet, and it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. But we're beginning to see cuts in public sector spending, in public service provision, primarily across our local government employers, but also across some of our health employers and other parts of the public services. So, for example, we've done some impact assessment. We've gathered information from our local branches and from our staff, and the indications are that we're going to end the year with 10,000 less jobs within the public services than we started. But what we are seeing is schools are closing, nurseries are closing, councils are threatening to close before and after school provision, libraries are shutting. We're seeing an increase in charges to people within the community, particularly vulnerable people, having to pay for services where they didn't before, or very significant increases in the amount that they're expected to pay, which means that they can't afford to access those services. What we're also seeing, and what's of particular concern to me with my equal pay hat on, is that many of the jobs that are going, many of the services that are being provided are provided by women workers. So we've been through a process for the last however many years of trying to achieve equal pay for women within the public sector, and as we start to make some progress, very slow and overdue process, we now see that we're losing the very jobs that we have been working hard to get properly graded. We started the process back in February. We launched our Public Works Defend Public Services campaign activity with our General Secretary come to speak to the Scottish Conference. Last weekend we had a very successful march and rally in Glasgow. We brought together thousands of people on what was a lovely, lovely day. The sun certainly shone on the righteous that day. We were demonstrating to politicians of all kinds, all shapes and sizes, to our members, to our activists, that UNISON as an organisation takes this seriously, and we will resist and defend as far as we can do. We'll have a programme of activities for the next however long. We will probably have more marches, more rallies. We will have meetings with our key activists to plan how we're going to deal with things. It will be a several-pronged approach where we have cuts in services at local level, where we have the likes of libraries being closed, school nurseries under threat. Then we will be working with our local activists within those communities, building relationships with community groups so that we work to defend those particular cuts in services.
My name's Irene Stout. I'm actually the Branch Qualities Officer, but I'm also a Service Conditions Officer. Well, we're aware at the moment there's a potential to privatise nearly 3,000 jobs within Edinburgh Council alone. The Council are looking at selling our services to private companies, and at the moment I don't know, I'm aware that there's about 134 bids, but I do believe that they are going to inform us within the next couple of weeks what the real areas are, and that's where our campaign will really start. We've entitled it "Our City is Not for Sale." We hope that catches not only our membership, but also we really need to target the public, get them on our sides, and obviously make them aware of the services that are going to be either cut severely or taken away from us altogether. We have an advert going into the free papers which are delivered throughout Edinburgh. We have leaflets and posters which we've sent out to all our members, and hopefully they will not only just keep them within their workplace, but they'll take them home to their families, their friends, their grannies, their granddads, their partners, because these services are going to affect not just the people that work within the services, but the people who use the services, and just to try and get them on board as well. Unfortunately, at the moment, I think we're still in very early stages. We know that we're in the first year of a 3-year plan of budget cuts within Edinburgh Council. We know that year 2 and year 3 are going to really hit us. One area has already been hit, which is home care. Already, just to give you an idea, already the service that was provided was a half-hour service to people living within their homes. That's already been cut to 15 minutes, and there's not an awful lot you can do in 15 minutes. So, goodness knows what's going to happen within the future. They may be cut down to 10 minutes. it may be cut completely, and nobody will have that service anymore, or people are going to have to pay very, very, very highly for that type of service. I personally, I work for the library service, and I know that within the library service they're cutting the staffing. They've reduced the staffing already, and then intend to make more cuts within staffing. They're bringing in basically a self-service system that you would have now in supermarkets. They're doing now the same in libraries, which is going to cut the library service completely. The campaign that we are running at the moment, Our City's Not for Sale, is something that, as a trade unionist, I believe that we have to do it. We have to act, and we have to act as quickly and as effectively as we can. Yes, we can win it, and yes, we will win it. All right.
My name is Cathy Miller. I'm a nurse in Greater Glasgow Clyde, and I'm the branch secretary of UNISON Glasgow Clyde and CVS.
And I'm Julie Ballantyne. I'm the treasurer of the branch. I'm also an active steward.
In Greater Glasgow Clyde at the moment, we have got to make savings around 62 million plus. That will impact on staff, nurses, domestics, porters, labs, admin, clerical, everybody. It will also impact on the service that we're able to deliver to the people of Glasgow, what we're supposed to do.
We've had stalls in, every major site where we deliver leaflets and raise awareness amongst not only staff but the public, because the public play a big part in it as well, because it's their NHS as well. We were involved in the march protest last week, which was very successful.
The responsibility for the cuts in Scotland rests in several places because we have devolved government here. It's local councils, it's local health boards that are making the local decisions about how they spend the money that's available to them. It's the Scottish Government that's deciding how much is allocated to those local government employers and to our health boards, and it's Westminster that governs the formula and how the money is allocated to Scotland. So there's a chain of responsibility in terms of public sector cuts. It wasn't public sector workers, it wasn't public services that caused the recession that we're in. The bankers, and because we bailed them out. We didn't cause this problem. We are part of the solution. The money that goes into public services, as well as providing those services, goes very fully into the economy. To cut that funding now is to make the situation worse, is to risk making the recession even deeper than it has been. Yes, we can survive. We do not have any choice. Trade unions were created for adversity, and I quote our General Secretary on that. We are in adversity. That will get worse. We will indeed survive this process, but we'll have some battle scars at the end of it.